Train your brain to do hard things. Lotus Focus Method. What if your brain is not lazy? What if it is protecting you from greatness? You open your laptop. The blue light hits your face. 10 tabs appear. One unread message calls your name. You tell yourself that today will be different. You will focus. You will study. You will do the hard thing. Yet somehow you find yourself scrolling. Minutes vanish. The guilt begins. Hi, I am Lydia. Welcome to Learn English Listening. Here we learn English through real human stories. Stories that do not just teach new words, but touch something deeper inside you. I know this feeling well. Even as an English coach, there were days when I sat in front of my notes and could not begin. My brain whispered that I was tired, that I needed one more video, one more coffee. But behind that whisper was not laziness. It was fear, the fear of discomfort, the fear of failure. Today, I want to show you a gentle yet powerful way to train your brain to do hard things without forcing it. I call it the Lotus Focus Method, a method inspired by the wisdom of the East, where growth does not come from fighting the mud, but from using it. Before we begin, tell me, which city are you joining us from, and what hour of the day is it where you are watching this? As we move through this story, you will learn how your mind protects you, how to stop fighting it, and how to work with it. By the end, you will see that your greatest resistance may be the doorway to your greatest focus. Let us begin the journey. Daniel was one of my students. He loved English. He wanted to speak fluently, travel abroad, and work with confidence. But every time he sat down to study, he felt a wave of tiredness. His phone became more interesting. His bed looked softer. His brain whispered, "Not today." At first, he blamed himself. He thought he was lazy. He told me he just needed more motivation, more self-control. But the more he tried to push himself, the harder it became. He was trapped in what I call the comfort loop, a cycle where your brain chooses what feels safe over what feels meaningful. Have you ever known exactly what you needed to do but watched yourself not doing it? That silent war between your intention and your action is not weakness. It is the brain's ancient instinct to protect you. Thousands of years ago, your mind learned to avoid discomfort because discomfort meant danger. In modern life, that same instinct makes you avoid challenges. It hides behind endless scrolling, long breaks, and false busyness. When Daniel learned this, he stopped fighting himself. He began to understand that his brain was not his enemy. It was a loyal guard. Too loyal sometimes. He realized that motivation alone could not fix the problem because motivation burns out quickly. Awareness, on the other hand, changes everything. When you become aware of how your brain resists, you can stop judging yourself. You can start observing. The moment you see resistance clearly, it begins to lose power. So, if fighting your brain does not work, what if the real secret is learning to flow with it? In the next part, I will share how the Lotus Focus Method transforms resistance into calm power. The secret of the Lotus Focus Method lies in a single truth. You cannot win a war against your own mind. In Eastern philosophy, the mind is often compared to water. The more you force it, the cloudier it becomes. But when you allow it to settle, clarity returns. The lotus flower rises through mud, not because it escapes the dirt, but because it grows from it. The mud becomes its nourishment. Let us bring this wisdom into your daily English practice. There are 3 phrases that can change how you see your struggle. The first is, get out of your comfort zone. It means stepping beyond the small circle your brain built to keep you safe. Every time you do something slightly uncomfortable, you expand that circle. Growth happens there. The second is go with the flow. It means working with your natural rhythm instead of against it. You do not have to force energy. You can ride it. Just like a river moves naturally, your focus can return when you stop trying to control it. The third is face resistance. This means observing the moment when your brain says no. Do not judge it. Watch it like a teacher watching a student who is scared. Awareness melts resistance faster than force ever could. When Daniel stopped judging his distractions and simply observed them, something changed. His focus doubled. His study sessions became lighter. The same challenge that once exhausted him now felt manageable. I want you to try something today. Write one of these phrases in your comment and use it in a sentence. I will read them all. Let this be your first step toward learning English with awareness instead of pressure. When you stop fighting your mind, something beautiful begins. Focus returns. Calm follows. And from that stillness, real progress grows. For years, I believed the only way to make progress was to push harder. I told myself that real discipline meant fighting through every wall. But one morning changed everything. I sat down to write a lesson and felt that same resistance rise again. Instead of fighting it, I paused. I closed my eyes. I took one slow breath. 10 minutes later, the words began to flow. That lesson became one of my best. That day, I learned something powerful. Focus does not come from force. It comes from flow. 2 phrases describe this transformation. The first is, find stillness. It means to pause and quiet the noise in me. When you sit still, the world slows down. The second is take it slow. It means progress is not a race. It is a rhythm. Daniel also began to live this way. Before studying, he took 1 minute. Breathe. Instead of rushing through 10 pages, he focused on 1 paragraph. Within a month, his confidence grew. He said, I finally feel peace while studying. The lotus does not bloom because it fights the mud. It blooms because it trusts the process. You are the same. Your challenges are not barriers. They are the soil for your growth. You do not need to fight harder. You need to flow wiser. The energy you spend fighting yourself can become the strength that carries you forward. If tomorrow gave you a fresh start, what small habit would you begin differently? Think about it. A single new habit done with peace is worth more than 100 forced ones. When you trust the process, your focus stops being a battle. It becomes a calm journey. Maybe the answer is not more discipline. Maybe it is more kindness. The human mind is like a child. When you shout at it, it hides. When you guide it gently, it learns. So treat your distractions with compassion. When you notice your thoughts wandering, smile. Bring them back softly. You do not have to fix everything in one day. Growth built on kindness lasts longer than growth built on guilt. Daniel told me that once he stopped judging himself, studying became lighter. He said, I used to study out of fear. Now I study out of curiosity. That single shift changed everything. Tonight, when you sit down to study English, do not fight your distractions. Notice them, breathe. Begin anyway. Let your awareness be your teacher. Every breath is a new beginning. Every moment of calm is a small victory. Your brain is not broken. It is beautifully human. It protects you. It just needs to learn that it is safe to grow. The Lotus Focus Method is not about forcing your way through pain. It is about walking with peace through discomfort. That is how progress truly begins. We began this journey with a question. What if your brain is not lazy? What if it is protecting you from greatness? Now you know. Your mind's resistance is not a wall, it is an invitation. When you stop fighting yourself, you finally become free to grow. The Lotus Focus Method is simple: awareness, stillness, gentle action, patience. The same way a lotus rises through mud and light, you can rise through distraction and doubt, from resistance to awareness, from awareness to stillness, from stillness to action. This is your path. At this moment, you stand between comfort and growth. Which path will you take? If this video gave you something meaningful, share it with someone who struggles to focus, and subscribe so we can keep learning English and growing together. One calm breath at a time. Your brain is not against you. It is waiting for you to understand it. Once you do, every hard thing becomes possible. The lotus blooms slowly, but it always blooms.